Hey guys, what's going on? DeltaBot here, and we're back with some Titanfall 2, and in this video, I wanted to fulfill the promise that I made to you in my last one, and really go over what I'm looking for and some tips for other players who maybe, like myself, are not fast-paced running gunners, but take it slow, a little more methodical, and just try to keep people at an arm's distance like I do. The main thing that I'm always aware of is trying not to get too focused on one kill. There's always going to be the opportunity to get more kills, but if you get too focused on one kill, especially if you're a slower player like myself, it gives the rest of the other team the opportunity to sneak up on you. So the number one biggest tip that I would say is try not to get too focused on one person. If you can, get a quick kill like that where, you see him, but you have to switch positions and wait for him a little bit, yeah, go ahead. But if you're trying to chase somebody around, waiting for them or something like that, don't bother. There's always going to be the opportunity for another kill. If you wait for somebody, you're probably going to get shot. And that's something I see happen a lot, where I'll find somebody who's just waiting for another player. Like that guy right there. He was waiting. And it gives the opportunity for someone else to come up and kill you. There are always going to be other people to kill. Don't worry too much about every single kill. Because if you worry too much about every single kill, you're never going to get, the larger number of kills that generally people look for. Another thing that I'm always aware of is not big time aggressive movements, but still subtle map movements that give me the advantage over other players. One really common one I'll say is like crest movements, where like this, I'm able to get ducked behind a crest just as my mag runs out, and I'm able to kill that guy, whereas he's not able to land another shot on me. And this guy's kind of actually doing what I try to do, except he just doesn't know where I am, where you just move subtle little movements, and you don't let the other player really take advantage of positioning. You try to move around a little bit, but I'm not running and jumping and all that stuff. I mean, I do wall run a lot more than I used to, but it's definitely not a major part of my game. The only reason I'll ever wall run is to get to a new position. I don't generally wall run to try and, get an advantage over another player. To be honest, I don't have the quick reflexes and aim for that. My forte is situational and map awareness, which is why I play the way I do. And that brings me to another point. In order to play the way I play, I have to have very good map awareness, because going back to that first point I made where there's always going to be another person to kill, you have to be aware of those people that you may or may not have killed. So let's say I am in a situation where I have to get away from somebody, like this guy who's about to shoot at me. I know that guy's back there, but there's no way I would be able to kill him. So instead of trying so desperately to kill that guy, I move on and try to establish myself in a different position, and I end up taking out 3 people here. That's something that you really have to be careful of if you're not a super fast player, is taking advantage of positioning and not letting somebody else dictate your engagement. If they shoot you and you go after them, you're allowing them to dictate the engagement. So change position, move around. That's one of the biggest things with running gunners. They don't really ever let people dictate their engagements because they're constantly on the move. If you're a slower methodical player like me, you can still take advantage of that play type, but you just have to be aware that you'll still be at the mercy of people who are shooting at you if you allow them to take advantage of the fact that you're going after one kill. So just be calm, be patient, and be willing to let one kill go in order to save your team a death and maybe put yourself in better position. Here's another one, especially exclusive to the Holo Pilot, is figuring out where people are based on where they're shooting at you from when they see the Holo Pilot. You never want to go through a blind area and not check your corners, but in this game, things happen so fast, it's really difficult to check all your corners. So exclusively for Holo Pilot players, the Holo Pilot allows you to check your corners without actually checking your corners, unless somebody is, observant enough to know that that's a hologram. But I think another really big thing for players like me is commanding a field of fire. You see there, I kind of just sat there and waited, and I did that because I knew there was nobody at my back. And that's one thing that really learning how to run and gun has helped me with, is dictating map position. So right here, I wasn't afraid of getting shot by the guy who was up on over here to my right because I had positioned that pillar between me and him, and I didn't stay there for long enough to let him shoot me. And that's another really big thing with any play type, is your timing. You have limited time to do everything in this game. There is nothing you have unlimited time to do, and this is not how you use a shotgun. That guy panicked so bad. I felt so bad for him. You have limited time for everything. So I've kind of developed an internal clock that tells me, okay, if I've been in a position waiting for somebody so long, and the game was won, I was just trying to melee him. I've got an internal clock where it tells me if I've been waiting for somebody for too long, it's time to move because I'm about to get shot in the back. And that's something I think a lot of people don't develop. So I guess my biggest 3 things are, don't get too focused on one kill. Develop an internal clock which will allow yourself to know how much time you have and when you should move. And third, really be aware of your surroundings. Let your senses take over, because most of the time if you feel something, it's probably going to be right. So if you're allowing yourself to move around, even if you're not a run and gunner, you're generally going to do better than if you just try to stay stationary and get 1 kill. So those are my, I guess, quick tips. I'm sure I'll be making more videos in the future going over some more stuff. But thank you all very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like or a dislike depending on what you thought. Subscribe if you want more. And I will see you all in the next video. Distance away from the people I'm shooting at. And that makes it very difficult for people who do run and gun to dictate. Hello. Oh, jacking my swag. See the blood spurt out of my face though? I don't know how I didn't die there.